it's getting beyond a joke now. It really is getting beyond a joke now. But I think I need to end this because you know, I'm just going to keep on banging on, and it's just, they ain't even fucking worth it. But the thing is we have to react, because I'm not having someone sitting there calling me a fucking child trafficker. Are you for real? Child fucking trafficker. And what proof? What fucking proof, or what do you base your allegations on? By calling me a fucking child trafficker?
There's a few of the things that I want to talk about. There were some girls that were working, and you're going to take us down to where
the MCP car park was like.
and if we walk down to Great Windmill Street, the other thing I want to talk about, because my focus is on like the corruption within the police. Now, you know, we sort of, there are names, but we're not going to go through them as yet. If at some point the IOPC want to get in touch with me, I can supply them names. But West End Central was a local police station. And we were talking about the other day about a certain ranked officer, high ranked officer, that was very inspector, and he was very much involved in the corruption of what went on here.
Yeah, he was at one point the heart of it, if you know what I mean. You know, like the everyone thought he was great because he was corrupt, but when you look back now, he's like.
But would he do you favours?
He'd do. Listen, he would do literally anything. He had no morals. He was definitely a very immoral man.
But he was actually offering you money to
go and we actually got asked to go and find runaways at Euston, Victoria.
Right, so
£500 a time, and back in the day that was a hell of a lot of money.
Right, let's talk about this. So we're going back to you've been on these streets since you was a teenage girl, teenage girl. 15 years old. And Niki was well known on these streets. Nearly 500 convictions for loitering. Again, I'm not going to, you know, but we're just saying how long Niki's been on there. And there was an inspector who would have been very well known and quite a rank for this sort of area. And he was asking.
It was down here.
Right, we're going to cross over now. Brewer Street. We're going to go down into Great Windmill, and I've got a little story about this street as well.
And there was an NCP car park just down there, and that's what I was trying to tell you.
Did you ever know the guy, the Maltese guy that used to run the coffee shop? He used to always try and get the police in there and give us free drinks. I think it was either Cornet Cast or that Billy Bro, one of them. He owned. Johnny, his name was.
Right, we knew him as Maltese Frank.
Maltese, skinny guy.
Maltese Frank.
Yeah. Now this inspector was offering. He was very much involved with the organised crime in this area, and he was offering Niki and the other girls 500 quid a time to get young runaway kids.
Was up here.
Right.
We've got a school there as well.
Right, so we've got a pool hall that's up there. Well, let's go down to the NCP. So,
well, no, the NCP was there. This is the alleyway. This goes through. A lot went on in this alleyway.
Right, let's go down this alleyway.
It's all done brand new.
We're walking down. This used to stink of urine, didn't it, back in the day? And so girls could bring punters down here, and they could discreetly have it off, as it were. Yeah. And he said, how much would they be charging back then?
Some of them used to do it for a tenner.
Tenner, yeah, that's why, a tenner. You know?
It's just...
And the sort of clients, what would they rate? Were they typical, or were they a mix of everything?
The sort of clients we go for...
I know, it
still does.
Yeah.
The sort of clients we went for, they weren't down and out sort of people.
Yeah.
And I will say, the ones who used to ask for young girls, sometimes it would shock us.
Right. Okay, so this now,
it
look,
still smells of piss though.
It does, it absolutely stinks.
It reeks.
And bear in mind we're in the heart of lockdown and there's no pubs open, it absolutely stinks. Can you imagine what it was like back in the 90s when everyone's on the lash?
Yeah, and everyone used to come around here.
So this is out the way, so this would be a smoking area, crack smoking area.
City.
And then also there'd be coming down here for sex. But this inspector is important because this guy was asking Niki and the other girls to get hold of young runaway kids for him, right?
And we didn't even ask why.
No, you knew why, you know.
Yeah, I suppose so, but I never took them up on that offer.
But how disgusting. You'd see, he wasn't doing this for police purposes because that's not how it works.
He used to sniff cocaine with the girls up in the pool hall and that.
So we're going to go by the pool hall and we're going to look at, you know, where this inspector, and this inspector would have been in charge of probably a minimum of 5 sergeants and maybe as many as 50 up to 100 officers. And then there would have been covert jobs going on down there. How dangerous is that this inspector? Now, if we look at the history of the Vice Unit, when you look at books like Playland, when they were saying that there was an inspector that was involved there, a superintendent, and bear in mind it was Detective Chief Superintendent who threatened and silenced me for exposing what was going on these streets. So this is how deep, and bear in mind, everyone who's watching this, we're up to 400 hits, which is a phenomenal amount of live hits. And bear in mind, you're paying your taxes. You're paying your taxes for these vile people, and it's still going. Okay, the scene ain't going on as much as it was, but these people are still there.
It's moved underground, that's all.
Yeah, and if we look at like the Rains list, and Niki knows about the Rains list as well, you know, the bloke, middle management, I think Detective Chief Inspector on the Vice Unit, back in them days, is on the Rains list. So he's on this list, right? This inspector, he's on there, you can find him on there, a DCI, right, that was running everything from Vice, because Vice was a tier above the local West End Central Police in respect to their investigations, and he is on the list of satanic abusers. He's been named by more than 2 people on more than one occasions attending rituals. Now we see from testimonies of Jeanette and various others that children were killed. So runaway kids, no one's looking for them. Was this inspector involved in procuring them? We don't know. We can't make them allegations. But I'm going to be supplying this guy's name to the IOPCC after this, and hopefully we'll see where we go from there. But and for Niki to come on board and do this, I'm telling you what, I can't thank you enough for this.
I want to thank you for giving me this chance, because it's always been something that bothers me, child abuse.
Yeah.
The satanic stuff I had absolutely no idea about. And I've been on the streets for 35 years. Yeah. Not once did I ever hear anything about Satanism, which in itself is very scary because how prevalent it actually really is. Yeah.
And it weren't your world.
No.
And I didn't either. I didn't either. So it was only really since I've left and it's coming out, but it explains so much of why.
Yeah.
You know, who, what, where, why.